All right. Yeah. Yep. What's up, y'all? All right. So, yet again, I've been duped by YouTube and this orientation thing. I feel like I don't know what it is exactly I need to do, but we are out here in the garage. Oh, crap. I'm pressing the power button. All right. We are out here in the garage, and I'm sorry. All right. So, yeah, pork belly strips. What up, Jimmy? How you doing this evening? So, it basically comes down to the way that I cut I had a piece of pork belly, and I was going to cut it and make, sort of try to do like a pork belly burnt end. S. Lane, what up? How you doing? So, I was trying to do like a pork belly burnt end, Marcus. And my wife was like, can you cut it really thin? And I'm like, well, if I cut it really thin, the pieces will kind of disintegrate. I said, well, what if I cut them like really thick pieces of bacon? And she was like, all right. So actually, I seasoned it with this is Cooking with CJ's West Coast shake. Again, it's an Uncle Steve shake, but you know, CJ's got his own shake. Blind Man, he says, hey, yo, barbecue fan. What's up, David? How you doing this evening? So I'm outside I'm in the garage, and I am here. There's Pauline right there behind me. There's Vicky, in case you care, and Vanna's here, too. She hasn't moved. But I try to set this live stream up, of course, horizontally, but YouTube has other things. I swear it's got it in for me. What up, Steven? How you doing? So if you are watching on the TV, I apologize, Marcus. If you are watching on your phone, then you probably just need to switch your phone vertically, which again, I am a YouTuber at heart. I despise vertical videos when they don't need to be vertical video. I mean, I know there's a time and a place, but good golly, this irks me. This drives me absolutely crazy that the default for YouTube is to want to do a vertical video when it comes to mobile. It absolutely drives me crazy. So, old school drinking a rock star tonight. Marcus says, aloha. Yes, indeed. Marcus, how you doing this evening? Let me try to straighten this up just a smidge. So thank you to everyone who watched the video of me talking in front of Pauline. And I'll kind of try to be halfway on and off the screen. I still feel like I'm crooked here. You know what? Let's just raise this up. Hey, look, I didn't even see it was Jamie. I read Ayo checking in from my spot. I knew. Tell T-Bone I said what's up. T-Bone! Tell T-Bone I liked his bracelet. I like this bracelet. But no drinking tonight. Yeah, Marcus said he's all good. About to go to sleep. Yeah, I don't blame you. I gotta go to sleep too. I got an emergency trip I need to take. Buzz Barbecue, what's up? Dave's Racing Channel. He said he's here this evening. How is it going, Dave? Dave, I want to say you will appreciate this, but the racing that happened this past weekend at MIR, oh my gosh, oh my goodness. I mean, Eagle getting into the fives, though, Cletus ran out of gear with it. Eagle, Jack Stand, and Leroy getting put out. Like, I was expecting him to go further, though Eagle did the best out of all three of the cars, of the vehicles. I was like, man. So, but them's the breaks. That's racing, and it happens. Those guys are playing games on the starting line on a tree. Quentin said, first off, I watched your funky butt video. You mentioned every smoker cooker you had except the big green egg. Go ahead and let me pick it up this weekend. Wait, what you were talking about the funky video? I didn't name the cookers by I talked about the big cookers, and then I said I have other cookers that I use on the side of the house. I didn't call out specifically the each one. I just said I have smaller cookers that I use on the side of the house. That's it. Stop trying to take my damn cooker. You know what? You can come and get it if you can get it unlocked. Get it off my porch, then you can get it. It's locked. All right. Did you see that video where I locked it to the it's locked to the porch? KB, what's going on? Steven, I know I said hey, but what's up again? We will have a special guest in about an hour. Kiddo on the way from Dallas. Nice. You make sure if Marcus doesn't tell her I said hi, you please tell her I said hello. Actually tell her I said, hey kiddo. And she better reply, hey Dashio, because I know she says Daddy-o, but Dashio will work for me. All right. Josh says, evening all. What's up with you, Josh? How you doing this evening? All right, so I don't know if you guys can hear it, but the pellet cooker is in fact running. I got it started before I started the live stream just because I wanted to try and get it going a little ahead of the live stream so that in an effort to maybe get this cook done in about 2 hours or less than 2 hours. And this cook is going to be something different, something experimental, something I've never done before. Dun, dun, dun. All right. Quentin says, you mentioned each cooker on the side of the house, didn't mention the big green egg. Trust me, I caught it. I mean, listen. I don't know, man. I don't think listen. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, Quentin. Stop trying to take my damn cooker. You can't handle the big green egg. My big green egg. The extra large big green egg. Oh, damn. I meant to put that with the other cans. Oh, man. All right. So I have a timer going. I have 6 minutes left on the timer. And then what I'm going to do is just check the... Like I said, I have pork belly strips in the cooker. Nothing... I'll say nothing much going on. But here, actually, no, I'm thinking before I actually do it on video, I'm going to open this up and check in here and see what things look like, and I'll show you guys. Excuse me. All right, these, come on, focus. All right, there's they look like thick pieces of bacon. And I use, like I said, I use the Uncle Steve shake. And we are getting up the temperature in the cooker. So it's only been about a half an hour, or not even been a half an hour. But my plan is to just watch this for maybe about an hour. Josh said he's doing well. Cut up 2 cases of pork butts and vacuum sealed them in preparation for deer season. Nice. Oh, I guess you're using the venison to mix with when you make your sausage and such. Yeah, pork belly strips like bacon. So the whole thing is, I won't say I normally would have, but I probably could have, and I'm gonna say I should have cured this, cured the extra pork belly that I had, but what ended up happening was I made, and I said it in the video that I'm filming. I don't know if you can see. Where is it? Up there it is. There is the camera and my light. But in the video I started just a few minutes ago, I said that I had a pork belly, and I cooked a pork belly wrapped around a pineapple. And I don't know if I saw it or my wife saw it, and she's like, can we try this? So I cooked the pork belly, wrapped it around a pineapple, and the pork belly was too big to wrap around the pineapple in its entirety. So I cut a piece of the pork belly off, and that extra piece of pork belly just went into the refrigerator. Well, a week or so went by, and I'm like, all right, I need to do something with this pork belly. So finally this afternoon, I'm like, all right, I got to do something with it. And I said, all right, well, I was gonna cut it up and make pork belly burnt ends. But when I was cutting it, my wife was like, "Hey, those pieces look kind of thick. Can we cut this? Can you cut it a little smaller?" And I'm like, "All right, cool, sure, no problem." And then I'm like, "Well, why don't I just cut it into like thick bacon like strips?" So that's how we ended up where we are right now. And at this point, what I'm gonna do is just kind of cook it, let it sit, hang out in the cooker for a while, and then I will turn up the heat and kind of try and crisp it up like it was bacon, but you know, we'll kind of see. The Music Performance Academy, he said, "What's up, Dash? How you doing, man?" I'm trying to think. Oh man, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to remember your name. Cause we went out to your channel and subscribed, and I did watch a couple videos. Shaytree says, "Howdy, folks." Buzz says, "2 Sundays from now, Dash is on." Man, look, this is Dallas week this week. That's all I'm worried about. 1 week at a time. Yep, about 150 pounds of pork butts was a lot of ceiling. Yeah, it was. Terry said, hey, look, okay, let's try this again. Hey, yo, Dash. What up, Terry? I'm sorry, man. MPA says, "What's good, Dash?" Dave says, "Oh, man, I got to ask, when adding to the venison, do you like pork or beef better?" Me, personally, I like beef because I don't eat pork. But, you know, to each his own. What's the plan once it cooks? Are you making a tricky thick bacon, or what is the expected outcome? I have no expectations. So you guys are getting insight to things that I do randomly. This is, if you've ever heard me say I'm in a lab, this is one of those in the lab creations, in the lab cooks, where I just kind of experiment with something just to do something kind of random. And in the video that I did the other day, I talked about how I really only try to use this cooker for business purposes. Oh, speaking of which, I need to check the pellets. Pretty good. The pellets are good. But I wanted to check the pellets before I forgot. I did not check the pellets before I started. But I try to really only use this cooker for business purposes, and then every now and again I do cook something for my family on it. But I'm killing 2 birds with 1 stone. One is nice enough outside where I can be sitting outside with this the entire hour, and it's, you know, the entire time. Here, I'll take these off since I don't need them. And then 2, I had this pork belly, and I'm like, what am I going to do with it? And I'm like, all right, well, I'll just go cook it outside. Johnny, all right. I will try to remember that. Shade Tree, all right. You got that, bruh. Even Dak admitted they suck. Yeah. All right, we're gonna re-up for another half an hour. And now, watch will lose to Dallas. Yeah. Man, I just dropped almost $1,000 having the new tires put on my truck. Terry, let's not talk about it. I'm dealing with the situation on my son's pickup truck where he needs something, but he is worn through tires, like to the point where today I'm like, yo, I need you to go up to I got a used tire guy, right? Well, I got a tire guy, and I bought 4 new tires for his truck not too long ago, and the tires wore unevenly because he's got there's something going on with his alignment, and I just haven't been able to put my finger on it. So a couple of weeks ago, I took his truck to a guy that does alignments, and he said, oh, he needs inner tie rods. So I'm like, all right, well, let's start doing some inner tie rods. He said, nope, before you can do inner tie rods, or actually I said, hey, I need an alignment. He's tearing up these tires. He said, well, let me put it up on a rack and let me look at it. So he puts it up on the rack, starts wiggling here and pulling there, and he's like, oh, he needs inner tie rods. I'm like, yo, I just had something done because I needed to pass inspection, and it was like there was a problem. So he's like, well, the inner tie rods, look like they're shot on both sides, so you need inner tie rods. I'm like, all right, well, can we do an alignment? He's like, nope, not with these tires the way that they are. He's like, you're gonna have to get new tires, then do the inner tie rods, then do the alignment. And I'm like, all I hear is ka-ching, ching, 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 and this is just like Yeah, I'm broker than the smoker on the 31st of the month. So, yeah, Terry, I completely understand. Seal and sell it once it's done. Y'all don't eat pork like that anyway. I don't eat pork. My family does. The kids and my wife do. I just don't. Terry says down and need breaks. Yeah, we just did. Oh, so I'm gonna say speaking of, but I had to do a bearing on Taste Tester number two's truck as well. So I'm sitting in the garage right where this is my prep table, but this old part is sitting on the table just because I haven't taken it to the metal recycler yet. But anyway, I did. I had to do that. So, yeah, I did that tie the bearing, and the bearing and the hub are a single piece. So yeah, the first one I ordered was the wrong one. It was for a four-wheel drive truck, and he has a two-wheel drive truck. So it blew it apart, and when it blew it apart, I had to take the whole thing back to take the whole thing back apart, order a new part to be rushed for like the next day, and then rinse and repeat. Brakes. Talking about brakes, I had to do brakes on my oldest son, Taste Tester number one's car, as well as on my wife's van, as well as on my Passat. So yeah. Steven said he went for a crunchy Kit Kat. Huh. I know the feeling, Terry. We got 10 ply for our 3/4 ton Suburban. It's like $1,500. Yeah. Saytree said, yeah, you just said in your video, don't hang on the garage when cooking. Yeah. I love you, bud. Defy the odds. I know, and that's the thing. So usually, if I'm sitting out here, it's because I'm not out here cooking. Like if I'm out here, I'm not out here cooking. But I'm gonna say for tonight, I'm doing this live stream, and usually I'd be closer to the door. But honestly enough, the smoking and I won't say I say that for those people who are like you're gonna die in that garage, Marcus. This smoker puts out far less fumes and smoke than any of the other cookers. And I mean, you can see there's no pluming bits of smoke inside of the garage. And I mean, it's cooking. It's cooking. It has come up to temperature, and I'm trying to think. I'm trying to see. So I have it set to 300 degrees, and it's currently coming back down to 300 degrees. When the cooker ramps up, it ramps up and goes past your set temperature by maybe 35, 40 degrees, and then it slowly comes back down to the temperature you have it set. Yeah. So it's coming down. It was at 320. So it's at 320 right now. I said it was like 323 or something. Taste tester number two is taking all of Rivian R2 money. Well, listen, that next vehicle is going to be my wife to purchase, not me. Terry said $987.45 for brakes. See, this where you got me messed up. I'm going to do my brakes myself. There's no way. I don't have a tire machine, so I can't do tires myself. But I'm going to do brakes myself. I did this hub and bearing by myself. I would like to do the inner tie rods by myself, or for myself, just because I don't have long money at all. At all. MPA said I appreciate the support and you subscribing. Tell all my friends about my channel. Well, that's what's up, man. Thank you. I appreciate it, Johnny. But so that's why we make them damn kids get jobs and learn responsibility to take care of their own ish, and we help. Yes, but we are. I won't say we're dealing with. I'm dealing with one son who's in college and has no job yet, and the other son is still in high school and has no job yet. Though he does make a little bit of money. For whatever reason, I have been deemed responsible for vehicles and vehicle repair. The problem is, when I was younger and I didn't have, not for nothing, my dad wasn't there, but through no fault of his own that I've learned later in life, I had to figure it out for myself. And I became pretty handy, and I'm very mechanically inclined, which is, a fantastic thing. But with that being said, my kids are not the same way, especially Taste Tester number two. Taste Tester number one, I give him credit where credit is due. He had an issue with his car while he was down in Ocean City, and he called me, and I did everything to put him in the best position possible. I have a friend that lives in Ocean City or near Ocean City, so my friend hooked him up with tools. I made it so that he could get the part that he needed. I said all he had to do was fix it himself, and he did it. He went online. He found a video of how to fix the problem, which was a serpentine belt, so it wasn't too crazy. But he was able to get it fixed, and he got it done. And I was able to buy the parts, have the parts sitting there waiting for him. So he had a serpentine belt, he had a jumper cable and jumper cable. So because the serpentine belt, I think he was trying to start the car, or the serpentine belt killed the alternator, obviously. So then the car went dead. So yeah. All right. So let's see. Let me try to catch back up on the comments here. Marcus is laughing because he knows that's an inside joke. Smoke is smoke, bud, but sitting around the campfire don't kill you. Yeah, I said it in the video. This garage is 25 feet by 50 feet roughly. There's plenty of room in here. Terry said I would, but I don't have a garage and it's almost winter. Oh, I know. Listen, man, I've had to do work in my driveway. I completely understand. I can't always fit stuff in my garage. Like, my garage is set up for me to, I won't say work, but do my barbecue in the garage and not necessarily work on things in the garage. When I have to work on things in the garage, I have to move and shuffle things around. And guess what? This thing is taking up a whole bunch of room in my garage that I normally would have to move smokers around and get other things in the garage. What else I heard from you? Buzz. Yeah, MPA, Johnny's thoughts. Nope. So, Johnny, we talked nothing about politics here. This is a safe space. Yeah, I completely. Oh, yeah. So, Ocean City, it is about 2.5 hours away. Oh, my God. My kids. So, he calls me. Now, mind you, he called me on like Saturday night, and it was probably about 8:30, 9 o'clock. And he says, Daddy, there's something wrong with my car. What's wrong with the car? Well, the battery light came on. Well, what's wrong with the battery light? What, tell me, keep going. Well, the battery light came on, and now I can't start the car. All right, well, did the battery go dead? He's like, I think so. Well, how did the battery go dead? Did you see any signs? Did you get any warning lights, anything? Oh yeah, the light came on my way down here. Well, why didn't you call me 12 hours ago when you were on your way down to Ocean City, and we could have found, I could have said, hey, go here, stop there, see about getting it fixed, or see what the problem is, yada yada, blah blah blah. Oh, well, we were going here, we were going there, and I just kept going. Well, now you compounded the problem. It's like 9 o'clock at night, and there's an issue with your car. No shops are open right now to fix your car. Like, what the hell? And you're quite a few hundred miles away. Well, you're about 100 miles away. I'm like, why wouldn't you call me sooner? I don't know. All right. Where are you? So he tells me where he is. I said, okay. I call my buddy. Hey, my man, Nick. I said, Nick, yo, Taste Hustle number one's, in trouble. Can you go and see what's wrong with his car? Be my eyes on the ground. He's like, sure, no problem. I got you. He's like, I'm on a date right now, but I'm going to wrap it up with her, and I'm going to go help him out. Where is he? Yeah, I tell him where he is. My man got up from where he was within 5 minutes and was where my son was in less than a half an hour. He gets to where Taste Hustle number one is, and he's like, yo, he threw a serpentine belt, blah, blah, blah. All right. I said, okay. Well, I'm like, there's nowhere to get a serpentine belt right now. So I start looking around for shops that can repair it, maybe take it to a shop and all of those things. And I'm like, nah. I'm like, Nick, can you leave him some tools? Like, you got tools you can leave him? He's like, yeah, I got tools in the truck. Boom, 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 boom. I got him. I was like, all right, thank you. I said, Nick, is there any way well, where is his car? Like, is it in a place where it can be parked overnight? He was like, well, kinda, not really. He's like, he parked it in a no parking zone. I said, are you serious? He's like, yeah, but he's here with it, so I guess it's okay. I said, but he wasn't there with it the whole time. So he's like, well, look, we can push it to move it somewhere else, and then it'll be all right. All right, bro. I'm like, thank you. So he helps him move the car, leaves him tools, takes him back to the hotel where they're staying at. So I'm like, all right. So let me just tell you how I got my son set up. I said, yo, in the morning, right? I worked through the night. I'm gonna say through the night. Like, it was about midnight or so. I said, boom, the auto parts store is, wherever. I said, I have a serpentine belt ready for you. I have a jump, pack of jumper cables there for you. And I don't think I bought I think I got something else. But I'm like, these things are on order. All you have to do is go and pick them up like first thing in the morning, get there, be there to the store. All right, I guess I'll take an Uber to the store or whatever. And I'm like, aren't you there with other people that you know? He's like, yeah, this person's grandmother is down here, this and other. I'm like, can you get them to take you to the store and then take you back to your car? You work on your car and then they jump you so you can get your car started. Oh, okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So that's what he ended up doing. He was able to fix it and then call the person's grandparents back, and they got the car started, and he was, bingo bango, everything worked out. Susie, how you doing this evening, Susie? So let's see. Cornholius says happy Wednesday. That's awesome. Great to let him learn. Yeah, hands on. He had no choice because I'm like, I'm not driving all the way to Ocean City. Oh man, that was just one escapade. There was another escapade that he had, and I had to, pay to have his car towed back here, and I mean, it was a debacle. So, but yeah, I mean, the stuff that they don't tell you about. It was his daughter, Susie. Trent Castleberry says, how long is that drain pipe on the smoke output? We need to do something similar for my porch, but might need it a bit longer. So that is 4 feet. Let me try and, there it is. It's 4 feet. So this bend is probably like, I don't know what the length is, but this is a 6-inch tube, and I have it sitting, it's just perched. And when I say precariously perched, it is perched on top of the exit from the cooker there. And it is a 6-inch, it's like a 6-inch chimney pipe. And I need to replace it because it's starting to rust out. That has been sitting there for 8 years, maybe. I've been using it for 8 years, and with the heat and the smoke and the heat cycles and such, it is starting to rust out. But that is a piece of, and it's 4 feet long. So it's a 4 foot long section of black chimney pipe, and it's worked fantastically. But I need to really get a 4-inch square tube or piece of square tube, and I'll run it out the window. I love the setup with the stack out the wall. Yeah. Russ, what up, man? He said, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you very much for always reminding folks. Always good to have a DIY savvy. Yeah, buddy. That's me. Like I'm not rich. So like I saw today in the Lone Star Grills forum, this guy was like, where do I buy beef tallow from? And my first inclination was, make it. Why are you buying it? Like what? And it was like, make it yourself. You can make it yourself. And then one or two people were like, you can get beef tallow from this person or that person or this place or that place. And I'm like, my first inclination is make it. Like, if you're trimming brisket, if you're trimming steaks, if you're trimming anything, you have the tools you need to make tallow. Why are you buying it? Why? So that video that I did about what the yield is on a brisket, I cut up and harvested beef fat to make tallow. I actually today, I won't say processed it, but I am taking the meat portion, or like the extra meat bits, or the bits that will probably go rancid, the fatty bits, I don't know what it's called exactly, but I'm cleaning the tallow to get all of that out so that I can actually have tallow that I will be able to use, that'll be shelf stable, and I can use it for a really long time, or I can use it and have it for a long time. But I'm like, just do it yourself. Are you familiar with the programs option in the Fireboard app? I am kind of, where you can say, hey, once it hits this temperature, do this, do that. And I could have set that up today, but the problem is I use my phone to do the live stream, and I can't go back into the Fireboard app in order to set it up to say after 60 minutes or after it hits this temperature, do X, Y, and Z. I do know that the option is there, but more often than not, I kind of just babysit, or I set everything to one temperature, and I'm like, hey, when it's done, let me know. Always a hook. Buzz says always keep a set of tools in every vehicle. There's a pro tip. So Buzz, I used to say you can tell a man's worth by his proximity to tools, because I was the guy, whenever anything went wrong at work, whenever anything happened at work, it was like, hey, Dash, do you have this in your car? Yep, I sure do. Give me a minute. Or whenever something was going on, they would say, yo, I need you to bring tools into work tomorrow. Or, we have X, Y, and Z going on. Bring your tools. And that's the same thing when I go to my mother-in-law's house. She's like, hey, I have X, Y, and Z that needs to be done. Can you bring tools with you? Sure. This is another one of those sparkling waters from the Royal Farms. Why do they call Royal Farms Rofo? I don't know. Oops. Yeah. Shit tree, no problems. Real. Great hair. Let's catch up. Hey, if I didn't say hi to you, hello. I didn't mean it to. I just be talking. I'm good with most mechanical repairs unless it's like transmission stuff, plumbing, electrical, carpentry. I'm in all in other than being lazy. Yeah, so I've done carpentry when I've had to. I mean, I can build things and that's the thing. Like I can weld, I can build things. I can attempt to be a mechanic. But when I get overwhelmed, I kind of just need to take a step back sometimes. And then it's like I get a bug up my butt, and I'm like, all right, I got to get it done. Which is the reason why the van is in the garage. The van sat outside in the yard for a year, and then it's been in here for almost a year now. And I will rage repair. Let's put it that way. But yeah, I do plumbing because I'm too broke to pay people, man. It's like, my mom is like all the time, how did you learn how to do that? I'm broke. I ain't got no choice but to do it myself. Like, I'm broke. Broke relatively. But I don't have extra money to be paying for certain things. Now, things that I despise doing, like painting, I got a guy. And my guy is fantastic. I mean, I've done floors in my house. I've done drywall in my house. I've done plumbing in my house, garbage disposals, microwaves, stoves, refrigerator replacements. I mentioned floors. I did my cabinets. My cabinets in my kitchen, I put those up myself. The only thing I didn't do in my kitchen was the countertops, because they're marble. And the marble company was like, nah, we have to install these. So you can't mess it up. Then what else have I done in my house? Oh, when the way our kitchen used to be, it used to be closed off. We closed off a wall and cut a half wall, so now we have a bar in our kitchen and a peninsula. Added all the new cabinetry. Like I said, I've done some light plumbing, but I've had to replace a water heater in the house. My father-in-law came and helped me do that. But like dishwashers, microwaves, refrigerators, that stuff is easy. Ceiling fans, TV installations, again, easy. And then I kind of think that the carpentry would kind of be like installing the cabinets, which wasn't that difficult. It basically was making, just measuring and then filling in the space. We went to a custom cabinetry place, and they gave us cabinets that were like, we designed our kitchen, and our kitchen is dope, as you can see. So what's wrong with Vanna? Vanna needs a new EGR cooler, and changing the EGR cooler is probably like 8.5 out of 10, 8.5, 9 out of 10 on a difficulty scale. Shade Tree said I'm a jack of all trades and a master of none. Yep, exactly. Me too. Those are facts. DIY 97% of the time. Yeah, buddy. Bro, I am painting beast, no tape. Oh, shoot. Well, yeah. DD says, ooh, plumbing. Yeah. Water heaters are easy, gas and electric. Yeah, like I said, it was a gas. Oh, you know what else I did? I was rather impressed with myself. So, then when I realized, when I found out what the problem was, I was pissed actually. So our heater is a boiler heat. So it's we have radiators and a boiler in the basement. So the heater heats a boiler, and then the water pump circulates the water around the house through radiators. Well, and I don't know exactly what it's called, but the regulator, I guess it's like the gas valve, like the regulator, whatever it is. Ours went bad last year, or was going bad, and it kept turning off the pilot. Our pilot kept going out, and I would have to relight the pilot. It would work for a day or two, and then all of a sudden we'd have no heat in the house, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? So finally, I found out what the part was, part number, yada yada. I ordered it, got it in, and I replaced it myself. It's the same exact part, so it was like cool. I didn't have to redo any of the iron pipe or anything. I just took one out, but it was a matter of taking everything apart in order to get the whole thing out, and then putting everything back together, and then turning it on and starting it. And then I realized, where I found out what the problem was. There was a jumper, and the wire on the jumper had worked itself loose, where it was just kind of sitting on the connector, on the I don't even know what, on the wire connector. It was just like sitting there, and the starting and the stopping of the heater itself would jar it loose, and it would break connection, and of course it would tell the pilot to go out. Well, of course, once I fixed it and replaced the thing, that's when I realized what the problem was. So now I'm like, oh, now I have a backup of this regulator thing. But I was very impressed with myself that I was able to get it done, especially after and I, because every time the pilot went out, I thought that there was a problem with the thermocoupler. I guess this has been a problem, where this had been a problem for maybe a year or two, where the pilot kept going out, and I thought it was a thermocoupler, but in essence, it was the jumper wire on this little valve, or whatever this pressure valve was, and it's what the pilot, it was like the whole thing where the pilot is, that thing, and again, I don't know what it's called, but I was able to fix it. Don Air says, love from Nova Scotia, Canada, dude, keep it up. Thanks, man. Damn, I haven't seen a radiator heater in 20 years. Tell me you live in a new house without telling me you live in a new house. Yeah, man, actually, it's kind of funny. My wife and I, we have not turned our heat on yet. It's like, no, we're holding out. We're holding out. Because it's like, it gets cold, and then it gets warm. Like right now, it's in the 70s right now. It's I'm gonna say almost like a game, but it's like a game to see how long we can go before really needing to turn on the heat. Russ says, I took a 7.3 liter out of the van I bought for the motor, and the van didn't make it. Oh no. Blind Man says, hey Donnie, what's up? From PEI, Prince Edward Island. Boom. Look, Buzz says, actually 30 years or more since I lived in DC. Quentin says, shit, I had the heat the first week of September. You pansy. Oh, 90 says, not much, man. He says it's chilling. That's what's up. Yeah, man, look, listen. Those memes when the mother is bundled up in her robe and like a hat on and like, ooh, drinking some coffee, holding it in her hand. That was my wife. All right. And then, Texas number 2 is like, mommy, can we turn the heat on? It's like, not yet. It's not like we trying to hold out until November, right? And then it's like funny because it's like, Why don't you go put on that hoodie that you had on all damn summer? So, I mean, that, I won't say that meme is real, because it really is real. All right, so I turned around and looked, and I think I see out of the corner of my eye that the cooker is sitting at 305 degrees just about. And I'm smelling that it's doing something over there. Shea Tree says, have I smoked a pork loin? Yes, I have, but I will never smoke a pork loin unless I get paid for it. My family does not like pork loin. My family does not like white meat. And oh my gosh. Then you say, oh, you didn't cook it properly. Bruh, when I say that I won't say undercooked, but when I cooked this thing and it was still undercooked for what you should be cooking pork to, and I'm just wiping off my stainless steel table here, they were still complaining about it. So guess what I don't do? Pork loin. Everybody else loves pork loin. Not my family. Not my family. And guess who doesn't eat pork loin? This guy. So y'all don't want to eat it? I'm not cooking it unless somebody pays me to cook it. I had a lady a few years ago. She's like, oh, I want this, and I need a pork loin. I'm like, I don't do pork loin, man. But I want a pork loin. I want to smoke pork loin, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, all right, you know what? You want this pork loin so damn bad. I will find out how much pork loin costs, and I'll cook a pork loin for you. Well, of course, I have to test said pork loin before I cook it and, you know, take it to this customer. So, why am I hearing people? So I'm like, all right, I will, I gotta cook it. Like, I got a small pork loin, cooked it, and, you know, let my family have it or eat it. Yo.
Did you get sent a code?
No, if I did it, yes. What is the code for?
Audible. It's like.
Hold on. All right, yeah. Here, no. 486321. Did it work? Four eight six three two one. See, I told you I was hearing something. Did it work?
Okay. I think they sent you another code.
Another code. All right, let's try this again. Hold on. People always ask me, why do you wear? I don't have another code yet. Hold on, I'm gonna clear everything. I guess try one more time. All right. How's the weather tonight? So the weather is nice. It's like 72, 75 degrees right now. I don't think Steven has anything weird. And there's stuff of pork loin with ham and cheese, peppers, and onions. Oh my law, son. Dude. All right, give me a second. I'm telling you, Buzz, it's... You know how there are just things that people don't like. My family does not like pork loin. They don't like white meat. All right, 922095. 095. All right, you're welcome. That was taste lesson number 3. My Amazon account is attached to our Audible account. I don't know how. So she was trying to get into Audible, and of course, you know how that goes. Can you send me that code? All right. Yeah. So they do not like pork loins. Nope. After me doing pork loins 2 or 3 times and them just doing nothing but complain, nope, I'm not doing it again. But you know, bro, sometimes I've let the water run a few times. Why no smoked lamb? Any advice? I do smoke lamb all the time. One of the first things that I did on this cooker was lamb. Why no watch all videos? But they not racist. They don't. Well, I mean, they don't like white meat. All right, I'm gonna go check on the strips here. So you guys are gonna get to watch how literally how the bacon is made. All right. So let me get everything set up. You guys are always like, why don't you do this or that? Or why don't you always do videos? Because videos take a whole bunch of production. So I had to turn the light on. I had to turn my camera on. I had to turn the mic on. All right. I almost didn't press record. All right, so welcome back. It has been an hour. It's been an hour. I thought I was gonna let it go for a half an hour or so, but it took quite a while for the smoker to come up to temperature. But now that it has come up to temperature and I'm letting everything kind of settle in, I'm starting to smell this thing cooking. And I didn't talk about it before, but I'm gonna show you what I seasoned it with. So I use CJ's, cooking with CJ's, and this is a Uncle Steve shake. So if you don't know who or what Uncle Steve is, I'm gonna try and remember to post the link to UncleStevesShake.com down below, and as well as in the description. But this is the West Coast shake, and it has quickly become a family favorite. This stuff is good. It's good. And I'm going to use that, or I use that today on this pork belly that I've cut into like thick bacon strips. So I'm gonna get this open and I'm gonna pull out this shelf and we're gonna see what it looks like. All right, so I'm seeing, and actually I'm going to turn this because this end that was closest to me was closer to where the heat is in the smoker. And I'm just seeing that it's starting to do what it needs to do. Now what I'm going to do at this point, I'm going to turn the temperature up to 350. So I'm going to get this hose back off, get the temperature turned up to 350, and we're going to let it cook for half an hour. And then I will come back, check it, and then probably turn up the temperature a little bit more. All right, so now you guys are really gonna see how the bacon is made. But so usually when I am doing things, I will put a piece of B-roll, and the B-roll in this instance is going to be the tray. So we're gonna get the tray pulled back out. Get the camera off here. All right. And then usually I try to give more than one. I'll say orientation, but it I try and get more than one angle in case I don't like one. Just turn that back off, turn this back off, get this closed back up, back in there. Now I'm going to turn up the temperature to 350 and then set my timer for 30 minutes. Turn this light off. And now I got to catch back up on the comments. So you guys are, like I said, watching how the sausage is made. All right, so let's see. Shatry said, "Now that's funny." It was. That was a joke. I hope you know. Oh no. I completely, bruh. I got it. So I'm like, what are you talking about? This racist? And I'm like, duh. I just said they don't like white meat. The jokes write themselves. I will eat fresh mushrooms. Look, Steven says I will eat fresh mushrooms, but not canned mushrooms. Yeah. Yeah, Quentin the Crocs, man. Canned yams. I am. Crocs are comfortable, but that Colt Croc, mine are camp. What? Floating like Rice Krispies in the milk. Oh, my man is serious. Look at that. Yeah. Oh, can we get a peek? Sure. Let me show you guys what's going on. My bad. I'm sorry. Dun, dun, dun. After. Oh, come on. All right, this is what that look like. That's what it looks like after. That's been an hour, but it's only come up to temperature probably, you know. So these bits back there, those are kind of like the burnt ends almost, because what ended up happening was when I got to the end, I was like, yo, I can't cut this like a thick piece that much smaller. So I said, all right, well, I'll just cut those pieces up in the thick boy pieces. But there's your sneak peek. So we are going to. Thank you for asking, Quentin. So nicely. The color of the Crocs, yeah. Hold on. I got my red and black Crocs on. Do you notice a theme going on? It's intentional. Got to coordinate. Sure thing, Quentin. Thanks. But yeah, man, so this is one of those experimental cooks, and if it becomes I'm gonna say if it becomes a thing, but I mean, I would have loved to been like, all right, you know what, I'll let this sit out here for quite a while to get some, you know, smoke. But like let's say I got this. I ordered the Fireboard. What is this thing called? The Pulse. That's what it's called. I ordered the Fireboard Pulse that connects directly to that, and I can use it with the app. I did actually use it last weekend, and it works pretty well. I tried to use it inside the house, but it works best when I'm close enough to the cooker. But it worked really well when I was out here because it connects directly to the cooker via Bluetooth. But of course, when I was inside the house and the controller's out here in the garage, it's a little far away. Buzz says he's rocking his camel Crocs right now. Can you see your feet? Yeah, so we have another half an hour, and then I will try and turn the heat up yet again. I don't know, maybe see about trying to get it up to like a finishing temperature. I'm trying to decide if I'm going to flip the bacon or just leave it, rock it, or leave it how it is on the tray. I don't know. I could move the bacon around. We'll see what it looks like in a half an hour. I put it kind of low on in the cooker so that it would cook a little better. I might put I got a diagram the other day from someone who took temperature readings in the cooker to kind of show where the hot spots were, and I have it kind of where it's in a warmer area. What's everybody have planned for Thanksgiving? We are like 3 weeks away from Thanksgiving. Actually, I think today might make 3 weeks. Is it 3 weeks away from today? I think it is. Let's see here. Let's look at the calendar. Where is the calendar here? Calendar. calendar. Thanksgiving is the 28th. So 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3 weeks, 22 days. Driving up to Green Bay for Thanksgiving. Nice. Let's see your girl's family. Quentin. Man. Susie says I have orders. I do too, Susie. Which is, I'm gonna say, crazy enough. I did 0 advertising this year. Last few years I haven't had to advertise. And I'm okay with the amount of orders that I have. I don't have, like, we're still 3 weeks away from Thanksgiving. I usually cut off my orders 2 weeks out, so that I have a week to make sure I have all the invoices set, and a week to actually make sure people pay their invoices. And then once they pay their invoices, I will make sure that everybody is paid. And then once everybody's paid, and then boom, I get everything that I need and I cook. This year I'm doing something different. I'm actually taking off from my day job and going to kind of, I won't say prepare early, but like not have to worry about working and cooking. Susan said I have 4 orders for briskets and 2 smoked turkeys so far. Please do, of course, have to cook for my family. Yes, indeed. Bart says, can you over brine a turkey? More is better. How long should you brine it? I want to say that would be a good experiment, but I swear I saw someone, it might have been Al from Eat More Vegans, or what used to be Eat More Vegans. But I think I can't remember. I think he did an experiment where he like salted something for like a week. He salted something overnight, and then he salted something like right away, right before cooking, to like see if it was better. But I know someone did an experiment along those lines, but I would think that it would be one of those things where I think the better thing might be like a chicken breast, where you could say, okay, I'll take a chicken breast and I'll say, all right, I'm going to make a big batch of brine solution, and I'll pour some brine solution in with the chicken breast, and then I'll have that sit for, let's say, 3 days, 2 days, 1 day, and then like overnight. So like, I don't know, 84 hours, 72 hours, whatever. Yeah. Susan said, I'm not sure what I meant by please do. It's just meant, of course. Quentin says, I have a Polestar currently reserved for the drive. We shall see how that goes. Plan is to bring my Nomad grill and smoke some sides for the Thanksgiving dinner. With her family, they eat early, though. Quentin, that means you just need to start the night before, dog, or get up early in the morning. But there is no shame in cooking ahead of time and then reheating stuff. I am going to be cooking my turkeys overnight, Wednesday night into Thursday morning. So with that being said, I mean, if it's nice enough, shit, y'all might sit out here with me, or I might sit out here and do a live stream. Because I won't say the smoke is really non-existent, but it is not a problem. And actually, I have a hoodie over there and a hat, so in case it gets cold or is cold enough, I could put a hat on. So Quentin said a Polestar. So, what charging networks are you going to be using for the Polestar? Electrify America, or like, are you use any which one you can get, Clinton? Buzz says, Wendy's dad passed away 2 weeks ago, so we probably won't be doing any catering gigs this year, but just cooking for the family. We've got 3 turkeys to smoke and a ham and smoked dressing. Smoked dressing, that's something I've never heard of before. And I don't like dressing or stuffing, whichever way you want to call it. I'm not a big stuffing fan, though I have an asterisk. My wife makes a stuffing that it has sausage in it, and we use like a turkey sage sausage, and it is fantastic, fantastic. So this year I'm looking forward to that. But I don't like a traditional stuffing slash dressing. Jimmy says 17 again this year, all paid for. And Jimmy making some bank. Jimmy, you can send some of that up here to me. Help me pay this thing off. Because I'm not charging as much as you charging, but you also are cooking bigger birds than I am. Quentin says EA and EV Go seems to be mostly on the route. I also have a chance to check out the Rivian network, but still can't figure out if it's open to everyone. I don't believe it. Well, no. It's CCS, so it should be. What you might end up having to do is similar to how Tesla runs theirs. Is download the Rivian app and then like say, hey, I'm connecting a non-Rivian that I want to charge. But you're driving through New York, possibly. Nah, you probably not. You might be from here. You might be going out through Ohio, so you probably won't go to New York. I was gonna say there are a few Tesla stations that are open to other folks in like Western New York, but I don't think you're going that way. Hey, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. Thank you very much, Misty Omniverse. Oh, Misty Omnivore. Excuse me. Quentin said, Jimmy, let me hold $23. Nah, Quentin, I asked first. Plus, the dude, I'll send you a recipe. Smoked dressing is the diggity. I mean, listen. So it's hard for me. I know where you're coming from, right? And I appreciate, I won't say the offer, but here's the thing. You know how, and this is, my family's picky. And when I say picky. And it's like you've seen those videos where I cook different things for my wife and I'm like on pins and needles, like, is she gonna like this or is she gonna hate this? That's how it is with almost everything I cook, because she has this is what I want. And this is like not what I want. Like, I have smoked macaroni and cheese. I will make macaroni and cheese, and my macaroni and cheese, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna put it in the smoker and get a little bit of smoke on it. And you have a faint, it's just kissed with a little bit of smoke, right? And she's like, I don't care for this. Is it good macaroni and cheese? Yes. She's like, yeah, it's fine, but I want baked macaroni and cheese. I don't want smoke on everything. I get it. So have you ever heard me say just because you can doesn't mean you should? I'm a firm believer in that. And I think part of that is I've been doing barbecue and smoking things and cooking things like random things like this thing that I'm cooking today for like 15 years. So they're kind of over it. They're definitely over it. There are certain things that I can make almost any time, and they're like, ooh, that's fantastic. Which is why I've been doing pork belly and making porchetta and other things like that. I will say more recently, because that's something that I didn't do very much of in the beginning. Like, if I were to cook brisket right now, there have been times when brisket can go, like, I can put a little bit of brisket in my refrigerator and it'll just sit, like no one will eat it. If I make ribs, like I can make ribs, I think I made ribs and I made lamb. The last time I made lamb, I portioned it up into little packages so that if my wife is like, hey, I feel like lamb today, she can get a little piece of lamb. Or like almost like a meal prep where she'll take snacks for her breakfast for to work, and she will, she'll take, a double bone or two bones of ribs, or a piece or two of brisket, or some lamb. But it's kind of like I've had to, it's come to a meal prep type thing where it's not like I can cook it and they're just like, oh, let me eat that. They are over it. My kids and my wife, I won't say they're sick of it, but yeah. Quentin says, but when you plug it in, they don't register your card and it gives you an error. I haven't looked into in a year, but it'd be cool to see how it works. Nice. Quentin says, my goodness, the girl's family loves the smoked mac and cheese. Yeah, dude, I mean, nothing wrong with that. The dressing is simple and barely tastes like a smoke, actually. There's a video on my channel. Nice, Buzz. Yeah, so, I mean, and that's it. Like, it's one of those things where if she knows that I did it on the smoker, she's going to be like, looking for it. You know what I mean? And hypersensitive to it. And I mean, I get it. That's just the way the cookie crumbles. You know what I mean? So, but I know that going into it. So there are things that I won't say I avoid, but I just don't set myself up for failure or disappointment. So last year I did a catering event for my local Harbor Freight. And they've asked me to cook for them again this year. So early in December, first Sunday in December, I have to cook for Harbor Freight. And the manager there is like, hey, along with everything that you have already, do you do macaroni and cheese? And I'm like, I really don't do macaroni and cheese. So I happened to be on the phone with my wife when I read this email from him. And she's like, but you do macaroni and cheese. She's like, you can do a macaroni and cheese. Just do the macaroni and cheese. I'm like, I don't, I hate when I do something and it's not like, and it's her fault. It's my wife's fault because it's not, like I said, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to put some smoke on it, right? So she's like, well, maybe we just don't smoke it. I'm like, but that's the whole thing. Like, I wanted to have that smoke. And so anyway, she's like, well, do the macaroni and cheese. And we were talking about trying to do a macaroni and cheese just to kind of compare. So we were going to make when I say a big batch, a decent sized batch of macaroni and cheese, and then put some of it just in the oven and then put some of it on the smoker and see which we prefer. And I know that she's going to prefer the one that was in the oven, but the one that smoked, I actually won the first time I made macaroni and cheese, I won a macaroni and cheese cooking competition at my job. And it was the first time I'd ever done it. And what I ended up doing was, I think I had a week maybe to prepare for this, or 2 weeks. I smoked the cheese and then let it sit for a week, and then I shredded it and then, put it in the macaroni and then smoked the whole thing, right? Took it to work and they were like, oh my God, I've never had a smoked macaroni and cheese, blah, 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 and it won. All I got was bragging rights. But, I mean, it was cool nonetheless. Buzz says I do it all on my pellet rigs, so a very light smoke. I agree, and if anything, I'm going to be probably doing it in here. Just because, again, I'm trying to, I'm going to say use this as much as possible, but use it so that I can try. Dee said, did you try smoked shawarma? No, I have never tried smoked shawarma. I've never actually made shawarma. I mean, I'm a fan of shawarma. I don't get it nearly enough, actually. But again, just because you can doesn't mean you should. But there's a guy that he helped me out when I was getting started. I went to him and I went to his food truck and I was talking to him and I just humbly started talking to him and became a cool friend of mine basically. But he made one of the, if not the best lamb cheesesteak I have had. This damn lamb cheesesteak was so good. It was so good. And I'm like, typically I don't eat cheesesteaks outside of Philadelphia. I just don't do it. I don't do it. But this guy, like I said, I went to his truck one day and it was random. I just stopped at this dude's truck and I was chopping it up with him. And then he's like, oh man, he's like, after we finished talking, he's like, I'm gonna make something for you. Just stay right there. And I'm like, all right. So he handed me this thing. He's like, I'm like, well, what is it? He's like, it's my lamb cheesesteak, blah, blah, blah. Tell me what you think since you're from Philly. I was like, all right. Man, I took that thing home and destroyed it. I was like, yo, this guy's name is Brian. I'm like, B, yo, this was fantastic. This was fantastic. I said, I've never had a lamb cheesesteak before. This was great. And it was great. You should redo the pig in a blanket video on Pauline. All right, Russ, I know. I got to get some of them. But do I do it in the same? Because when I did that one, it was almost like an ASMR type video, where I had cinematic shots and it was fantastic. We got 10 minutes left on our 30 minutes from our 350. So we're at 333 degrees, which is kind of strange. Yeah, it says 333. I was expecting it to get up to 350 a little easier, but I don't know if the ambient air temperature is is hindering it or what. Gyro cheesesteak is money with that tzatziki sauce. Bam! Yo. Because the tzatziki has got like mayonnaise and I don't know, the sour cream. It's sour cream, not mayonnaise. Sour cream and lemon and dill. It might as well be mayonnaise. Johnny says, what is the best way to smoke a stick burner brisket? I will cook a brisket at about 250 degrees for 4 to 6 hours, depending on how big the brisket is. Then once the brisket is, once I have enough smoke on it, or I'm like, all right, I got something else to do and I'm going to pull it, I will take a foil pan, a full-size foil pan, put the brisket into the foil pan, wrap it up tightly, and I'll finish it usually in the oven. If I only have one brisket, I'm going to finish it in the oven. But if I have more than one brisket, I will turn the heat up or crank the heat up and shoot for about 300 to 325 degrees until that brisket hits an internal temperature of between 200 and 205 or 207 degrees, depending on how tough that brisket is. And you start probing to that 200 degrees, and then when you feel what you like, boom, Bob's your uncle, take that thing out. Tent it or vent it. So open up the foil, let the brisket rest. I like to let my brisket rest for at least an hour to 2 hours before I do anything with it. I will then take the brisket out of the jus that's in the pan, and this jus mixed with fat, right? So I'll take it out, put it on the cutting board, slice that brisket up. You've seen videos on how I slice up my briskets. You've also seen videos on how I use, I have a fat separator. I'll pour all of those juices from the pan into the fat separator. And I will separate the jus, which is just the juices from the brisket from the fat. And I will serve that with the brisket once I slice it up and I give it to my customer. I won't say bingo bango, but that whole thing should be done in six to 8 hours, depending on the size of the brisket. Like if you have a 10-pound brisket, you can get a brisket done in probably 5 hours, 6 hours. If you have a 17, 18-pound brisket, or start with a bigger 17, 18-pound brisket, it might take 8. You have these people talking about, I smoked this brisket for 18 hours. That's idiotic. That's a waste of fuel. I cooked it at 200 degrees for you. You're trying to get the brisket up over 200 degrees. It'll never get past that temperature if you cook it at that temperature. So I'm in this to make some money. So my time is money, and the faster, more efficiently I can cook things, the more money I make. So I cook things because I have a business. You have people who are cooking for themselves, cooking, for competitions, cooking for whatever the case may be, and they're like taking a day and a half to cook a brisket. For what? They must be retired and have a whole bunch of money. I don't. Johnny says, sounds like a good way to do it. I have done it on a stick and pellet, and the pellet is not giving me the bark as the stick burner does. Well, that's true, but and I don't know, Johnny, because your stick burner might be burning hotter than you think it is. Because if you're getting a bark, that means that there's a lot of airflow on that brisket, and it might be burning hotter than you think. It would be one of those things where I would say, I'm cautioning you, but I would say that you might need to monitor the temperature a little closer where your brisket is, and or if your stick burner is like an offset, that heat coming from that offset is going to put a crunch on that brisket that the pellet probably won't do, because the pellet temperature is way more even and regulated versus that hot heat coming from the pellet cooker. Especially, like I said, if it's an offset. Is it an offset cooker? Just, guessing. Russ says, you got the yellow tape around the area when you take you got to yellow tape the area when you take the pig off when you take off the pig in the blanket. I know what you mean. Once the bark is set, put it in the pan with a little beef broth and go by tenderness. I don't use temps, so I don't think you don't need beef broth. If you use and put beef broth in a pan when you're cooking brisket, you're going to slow down your cook. Ask me how I know. Go ahead, come on, ask me how I know. Johnny says, wow, that makes a lot of sense. I have an old-fashioned offset steak burner, and it burns very hot. Bam! I'm telling you, I won't say I've seen it all, I've done it all. I have cooked a lot. And I don't consider myself a professional. I consider myself a practitioner. And when you cook a lot and you've done a lot of different cooks, like I have, and I've cooked a lot of different things in a lot of different ways, and I can tell you, DD says, how do I know? All right, so I want to say a quick story. My stories are never quick. So a friend of mine, his mother was having a birthday party, and he's like, Dash, yo, I need you to make me some pulled pork for my mom. Boom. I said, oh yeah, cool, no problem, whatever, I got you. So I took this pork shoulder and I had it, and I think this was way back in the drum days, okay? When I was using the steel drum days. I put the pork shoulder on, and then I put it in some foil, and I said, oh, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put some apple juice in with this pork shoulder to make it, you know, like, oh, because that was the thing. Add liquid to your... Well, the apple juice might have been out of the refrigerator or even room temperature. But what happens is this. When you take your, let's say, 160 degree pork shoulder, and you take room temperature or cooler juice, okay, liquid, and you put it into that pan, in order for the pork shoulder to continue to push past where it is, the liquid has to be heated up. Get it? It took an hour or two for the liquid to heat up and then continue my cook. It slowed down my cook by 4 hours. 4 hours. When I say I was supposed to meet my buddy at like 2 o'clock, I delivered his food. Like, I beat his mom to his house by minutes at close to 8 o'clock. Because I put this liquid in this pan and it slowed down the cook. So I said, never again. So all of these folks that are, you know, putting all of this liquid in with the pan, you don't need to do that. You don't need to do it. The brisket will create whatever juices. Yeah, it's not physics, it's thermodynamics. If we're going to be, you know, if we're going to like really put a scientific thing on it, it's thermodynamics. But I said never again. And once I thought about it, I was like, well, damn, I messed myself up. And when I told him, I'm like, bro, don't worry about paying me. This is completely, you know. Yeah. I just, like I said, it slows things down for me. So yeah. Asante says, cook mine for around 8 hours, wrap till it hit 200, 205. Hold it for 10 to 12 hours. Stick burner for first half, even for hold. Bro, I just catered for 85 people for a birthday party, and I used your video as a reference. It helped a lot. Well, that's what's up, Johnny. Even simple. Oh, wait, no, not simple physics. Did I read that right? Oh, sorry. I'm not. Oh, so Buzz says, I'm not asking you how you know, because I'm not trying to cook fast, but that's one many first place briskets, cooks, and comps is different. I completely agree, Buzz, and that's why I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying that's not what I do, because of the way that I cook different things. And when I did do that, it, like I said, it slowed me down, and I won't say it cost me money, but I'm cooking for a business, or I'm cooking to make money versus competition. And competition barbecue is not backyard barbecue, it's not catering. And I mean, I'm built differently. I'm gonna say that's not my thing, but it's not my preferred method. Yeah, Blind Man says you gotta heat up the liquid. I know that now. but most people don't. That's not one of the things that people say, oh, you add this and add that. It's not like a so have you ever asked someone to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and tell you the steps on making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich? They always skip something. There's always something that they don't tell you about, right? It could be something as simple as like when I made the peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and it was I'm gonna say a meme, but it was the thing. Get the bread out of the package. Turn the toaster on. Put the bread this way. Get your peanut butter, get your jelly, open up the jars, get your knife, do this, do that. Very specific, every single step. People say add liquid to a brisket or add liquid to some ribs. They don't tell you warm it up first. It's usually never, just like if I looked at Buzz, he said, oh, I add let's see, what did he say? Oh, he said once the bark is set in the pan with a little beef broth and go by tenderness. He said he doesn't use temps. Does he warm it up? Is he suggesting that we warm it up? I'm not picking. I'm just using that as an example on a skipped step. Yeah, but Buzz said, but that's comp cooking, and I completely agree. Russ said, flag on the play. Using a 35-cent word in a dime conversation. Thermodynamics, 50 euros, repeat the down. All right, it's been another half an hour, and the cooker is sitting at 357 degrees. So I'm going to do the next step, and we're going to check the pork belly to see what it looks like. So I'm going to do a fancy transition on this one. Hold your horses, all right? Let's get the light on. Right there. Turn the camera on. Turn the mic on. This is indeed a process. All right, you ready for this? All right. So I'm pretty sure I told you guys at the last check-in that I was going to let this go for another half an hour, but I turned the heat up. I turned the heat up to 350, and the cooker right now, as it sits, is sitting at 358 degrees, as told by the fireboard controller. I'm going to open this up. Oh, buddy, I think we're done. This bacon. Look at this. Where we're going to this transition, when you guys see it in the video, it's going to be dope. Alright, so now I'm going to try to get a thumbnail. So we're going to try to leave some space off of one side or the other where I can put the title. And it's got to be still. So I guess it's only right I'll bring you guys in here, but in a minute, I think I'm going to turn this over just so I can have a little bit more content here for this. Oh, it's hot. All right, let me get a glove and a cotton glove. So give me me a second. Alright, so now I brought you guys in a little closer so we can see what's going on. I think this is pretty much done, but I'm going to turn this over just to try and make sure it's cooked a little evenly or cooked evenly. And it feels really good. It feels like a thick bacon. I want to say I'm going to have to get one of the taste testers, but it's getting late. And all kind of asleep. Turn these over. Sauce. Might cover them up, but we're just gonna let it ride and turn these over. Alright, so at this point, move this back. And camera back around so I can see myself. Take this off. I'm gonna go ahead and get this pushed back in here now that I've turned it over. I'm gonna let it sit out here for another, let's go for 15 minutes and we'll check it and see if it looks like it's really done. If it's really done, then I'll go ahead and turn the cooker off and head in the house and let this cool. And I don't quite know how or what will happen, but it's just going to be an experiment, and you'll see. About 10:30. I don't know if any of the taste testers are still awake. What I can do is, if any of the taste testers are awake once this is done, I will try to get one of them to come downstairs into the kitchen and taste this and tell you guys what they think. If they're not, I will put something in post when I'm editing the video and tell you what they or what they thought of it. I'm sorry, in case you didn't know, I don't eat pork to help things, but I still cook it for my family from time to time, and I cook it, of course, to sell. Anyway, you'll see me once this is done. I'll see you guys in a bit. All right, we're gonna leave it at 350. Oh shit, yeah, my microphone. Woo. All right. Oh. I owe you guys. You guys want to see it, I'm sure. Thanks for your patience, by the way. I do appreciate it. Come on. All right. There you go. Looking pretty good. Oh, sure. Looking pretty good. Which piece do you want? Which piece? Which piece do you want? Go ahead and get that back in there. I said I was going to set a timer for 15 minutes. So I'm going to do that in a second. I got 20 minutes on this timer I set. I guess I restarted the one that I had. Let's see. Can we? Yeah, so Clinton, I got you. I know I pushed this. Oh, I'm doing a catering gate, no juices, grab that and push it out the window. Yeah, buddy. Clinton said, don't forget about us. Blind Man said it's like reading your grandparents' recipes. They always need some interpretation. Oh my gosh, yeah. Yeah, buddy, that pellet is sure pushing some smoke. Yes, indeed. Yeah, right, Steven? Russ says, hey, anyone else feel like the red stepchild right now? This is the shop vacuum, yeah. Buzzed. Everything just chilling. All right, yeah. Angela, what up? What up? What up? Crispy bacon. Ha ha! Guess what? We're damn near making bacon. Crispy said, "It's been a while. Good to seeing you doing. Good seeing you do. Good, kinfolk. That's what's up, man." Angela says, "Bacon, damn near." So it was uncured. So this is not technically it's not bacon. It is just pulled, or excuse me, pork belly strips. Pork belly strips. You're not gonna get me, catch me out there. Grumpus, hey, what up, Grumpus? How the hell you doing? Grumpus be right on time. Grumpus, how do you manage to be right on time? He's like, Grumpus, can you even have bacon right now? I mean, really? Can you have bacon right now? Because you are on the mend, sir. You need to get better. Oh, there he is. He says, I'll have the low-fat one. Angela said, Grumpus, glad to see you're well. Yes. Grumpus said he's doing better every day. That's what's up. Flip your meat says, hey Dash, I hope all is well. Love my LSG 20 by 42 OS. Oh, offset. All right, dude, man, you can't hit me with the abbreviations. I'm glad I haven't been drinking. Marlon, what up, man? He says, hey everyone. Crispy Bacon says it's close enough. Yeah, so it's uncured. It was pork belly. I had this pork belly. Those of you guys who are I won't say just joining, but those of you guys who joined late, the reason I have this pork belly, or I'm cooking this the way that I have, is because either I saw it or my wife saw it. My wife saw it actually because she sent me an Instagram message, and she's like, "Can we do this?" And by we, she means do this for me. She saw it was a pork belly. It was a pineapple wrapped in pork belly pinwheel. So it was the pineapple, and then it was wrapped in pork belly, and then smoked. So I was like, all right. Actually, you know what? When I did that one, I used the same seasoning too. She liked it. Turned out really well. So hopefully she likes it this time too. But anyway, I had pork belly left over. And usually, or typically, I would have probably just made bacon. But this was skin on pork belly. And I was like, I got to do something different with it. So I said, okay, just sat in the refrigerator for a week. And I'm like, I don't want it to go bad. So I got to use it. So I was going to make pork belly burnt ends, right? Or like pig candy, as some people call it. And as I was cutting it up, she's like, well, can you make it like thinner? And I was like, I don't really think it's going to turn out really well if I try to make it thin. I was like, how about I just make it into like thick bacon strips? And she was like, okay. So that's what I did. So that's how we have pork belly strips. Bart is still looking for the answer to the stick versus pellet debate. Bart, I got you. It's not gonna be like tomorrow, but we'll talk about it. And the Grumpus, Ange, and Marlon take the same car to the live streams. Y'all came at the same time. Exactly. They got off the same bus. Yes, indeed. I sent a suggestion to you that you were gonna meet ties with the chicken wrap. Yes. Trust me, Angela, I have it in the collection. All right. It's just I have been, I won't say life has been lifing again, but I'm like, oh, I need to do this, or I need to do that. So I haven't had the opportunity to cook. At the end of the month and the beginning of the month is when I get busy for work, and I can't necessarily, like, sometimes what I do is when I have a slow period and I'm like, all right, it's time for me to make lunch or do lunch, I make lunch and into a video. So that's what happens sometimes. Usually I try to get it started before my day ends so that I can finish it before I have to pick up the kids. I have a small window in the afternoons where I finish work and then I have to leave the house to go get the kids. So I typically try and start something in the afternoon low, and then let it cook while I'm finishing up my day, finish my day, and then I can focus on it after I finish, and then, edit in the evenings or whatever. Marlene. Marlon. Owen. Marlon. That was marvelous, Marlon. Well, listen. I'm no cigar aficionado like Marvin. Or Bumpy. Speaking of Bumpy, those of you guys who are on the replay gang, I'm gonna say rewatch because you're replaying it. The replay gang, shout out to you guys. Thank you for watching. For the first time after the first time. Does that make sense? And it says, I can drop off the veggie broth and then come back for the final result after touring Baltimore. No thanks. I'll stick to the chicken broth or the beef broth. I want to say, it's funny. I have jus left over. I can probably make a broth. I keep saying I'm gonna take some of the jus that I have left over and put it in ice cube trays so that I can kind of use it on demand, kind of like a bouillon type thing. So I'm good. That'll add a little bit of smoke flavor to it too. What? Yeah. Let me keep those daily vlogs going, bro. Yo, man, he needs to get back on it, but it is not easy. It is not easy. I want to say committing to. Dang, I just realized I'm not going to have content for Sunday, but I have a whole bunch of stuff from. All right. Anyway, thanks, Marlon. Appreciate you, buddy. Come in here and you just slander. I juice and I make veggie broth from the remainders. That's pretty dope. That's a good idea. I made a turkey. I made a chicken soup from the carcass of the chicken. That soup turned out fantastic. Let's see, an hour 37 minutes. This this bacon. Well, the pork belly strips. Trying to check here. All right. Pork belly strips. Slander. Yeah, man. Why you get your hand out of my pocket, man? Are you worried about where I be going? Truth can never be slander. Bruh. Supposed to be my best friend, brother, cousin. I wish that I had time to just be like, all right, I'm gonna go see Angela. Man, I always have some. I don't say it's funny. So my wife and we have had the busiest October that we have had in a very long time. Every single weekend, we had something to do. Every single Saturday. When I say every single weekend, because I'm going to say, I could, but then it's like, it's 2 hours down there to do the live at 9 o'clock and then finish at 11 and then drive 2 hours home so that I can be home for work at 6 in the morning. It's not that I don't want to. It's just a little difficult. And every weekend I've had something to do. So I can't be like, oh, I'm going to come down there on. But there was, you know what it was last weekend? There was, Angela, how far from Budds Creek are you? The racetrack in, is that Mechanicsville? I think it is. You can go on a cruise in Texas and, okay, cruising is with my family, and that's one of the, I won't say obligations, but that's one of the things that I do to get away with my wife. And going to Texas was to see the eclipse. That was, I won't say once in a lifetime opportunity, but that was, yeah. Yeah. Quentin says you can literally work at her house. Possibly, but I'm up earlier than she is. She is not an early riser. I'm technically in Mechanicsville. Well, I won't say now that I know, but that was the thing. So I'm sure you saw and heard the race that was going on this past weekend, and it's an annual thing. But there are races that happen there, and I was like, when I saw it, I was like, wait a minute, I wonder how far away from here she is, like genuinely. But then I was like, oh, I didn't know how far away you were, but I was like, yo, maybe I could go down and hang out with you on Friday, go to the races on Saturday. But I chose to do family things versus going. Yeah, did not hear about the race. I don't like race cars. Yeah, no. Marlon, the way my life is set up, it's not that that's more important. I just be doing family stuff. Like I said, I put my family because I don't. I'm out of the house doing other things, so I put my family first when Saturdays are for my family. This past Saturday, dude, you know what I did? I spent all damn day in a mall with my wife and my daughter, and then went to Ikea and spent all day, almost like all afternoon in Ikea. Is that something I wanted to do? Hell no. I wanted to go and watch race cars go really fast. Like, really fast. But no, I sacrificed, and I said, nope. There are times when I do different things, and I'm like, yo, I get pulled away because of my business. I get pulled away because of other things, and I can't. So when I am able to do things with my family, a lot of times I choose my family, to do things with my, immediate family. I know, Angela, you are family as well. I knew that's where it was going. We work from home at homeschool. We can come up any day. All right, well, shoot. You got ever excuse not to visit. It's not that I don't. It's not an excuse when it's literally I don't like. It's way easier said than done, and I'm not taking away. It's not for a lack of trying. It's like, oh, I'm gonna go do this with. Boom, something comes up. Just like Angela said, Taste Tester number 2 has me running ragged. He is in so many things. He is involved. And it's not like I can be like, oh, I can't do this or I can't do that. It's like, hey, Daddy, can you come watch me do this? Or Daddy, can you be a part of this? Or Daddy, can you? I'm like, all right. Pick the hell of a night to not drink. Exactly, Russ. But I'm cooking. So I told you, like, cooking, I try not to drink when I'm cooking. Quentin says Dash's Christmas gift from Ange is getting cheaper and cheaper the more the conversation goes. Yeah, man. I want to say we kind of. Come on, timer. 6 minutes. I'm gonna check this because it's been 15 minutes, and I said I was gonna check it in 15. So let's turn on the lights. Mic on. Turn the camera on. All right. It's been another. Make sure this is recording. All right. It's been another 15 minutes at 350 degrees. Let's see what it looks like. Yep. You're done. Now, bring the light over. You're going to flip this around. right, so I got you guys in a little closer, and I think this is done. This is good. Let me get a glove on real quick. Yes, I forgot the glove. This looks like it looks like meaty. It's still soft. It's not like it's tight. It looks like all of the fat has pretty much rendered away, and that looks like, as Riker would say, eating ribs. That looks like eating bacon, but eating pork belly. Get that trash. Little piece there. I'm gonna turn this over one more time and get it in the house. Before I close out that part, I'll show you guys. Listen, don't worry about my shoes. Look at that. You guys are seeing it first. Would you just look at it? All right, whew, it's warm over here by the cooker. Don't worry about it. Let's see. Okay, make sure the mic's still on. And all right, so there you have it. I'm gonna turn the cooker off. We are gonna get it into the cooling mode. This was an experiment. This one worked. They don't always work. But this pork belly, and I'm not calling it bacon because it's not bacon, because technically it needs to be cured before it's smoked in order to be bacon. So that's why I'm calling it, or that's why I said it is strips of pork belly. But like smoked, because it was smoked. But it's smoked. So I smoked it at 300 degrees for about an hour, and then 350 degrees for about 45 minutes. And this is my end result. These pieces started out at about 1/4 of an inch thick, and they're like perfectly thick cut bacon. Like, I'm not gonna call it bacon because it's not bacon, it's not cured. I don't want anybody, the semantics police, the what do they call them? Pendant? Oh, those who are pedantic? Whatever the word is. Anyway, thank you guys for hanging out with me. If I can get one of the taste testers to taste this, you'll see that. If not, I'll put something in post to tell you what they thought of this. But either way, thank you guys so very much for hanging out. I definitely appreciate you hanging out with me while I got this experiment done. It wasn't a cook, this was an experiment. But you need to try this for yourself and tell me what you think of it. And leave me a comment on this video. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get this in the house. I'll see you guys next time if I don't have something else from the taste testers or the mixes. Let that hang out for a second. And we are at almost 2 hours. So I'm just gonna let that sit there for a few minutes. Luckily, summer's over and we don't have any bugs right now. Nah, as this is bare hands, no gloves. No, I got gloves. Safety first. Ocean's finest, yeah. Then we steel toe Crocs. Quinn says, let me try one. Put some sauce on it. Again, this is one of those things where my family won't appreciate that. I bet it smells. It does smell good. So confused. So now that the smoke, can it be called bacon? No. So bacon would need to be cured prior to smoking in order for it to be bacon. Blind man says I'm off. Everyone have a great week. See you, Dave. Take care. Bye. Is the water in the trays on the top? So there's no water in the trays right now. But when I cooked something over the weekend. Those trays are remnants from the cook that I did this weekend. When I cook something else again, or the next time I cook, I will try to reuse those trays and put more water in them to put some water into the cooker. They're empty now. Dash Angel will come see you, but this storm is hitting in California. Funny, Marlon. Funny. So no water in the trays currently, but when I do, or when I was doing a longer cook, I would have put some water in the trays, and it probably would have been a decent idea to put water in the trays for today, but I just didn't. But that was the whole point of it being an experiment. But it turned out really well, and like I said, I'm trying to let that cool there for a moment. There is a California, and I would have to drive through California in order to get to Angela's house. So if there was a storm in California, it would turn me around before I got to Angela's house. I actually have, I won't say driven through it a couple times, but yeah. There's a Brooklyn in Maryland too. So I like this I'm gonna say this camera and light setup is like just enough. Okay, Jimmy says, okay guys, gonna bounce. Have a great rest of the week. Later, Dash. Yeah. Is there a Texas in Maryland? I think there's a Dallas in Maryland. For some reason. Also in Hollywood. Let's see, Texas. Oh, shoot. Let's say, what are you doing? GEHS, Maryland. Technically, there is a Texas in Maryland, but there is a. It's just attached to Roadhouse. Let's see. I'm gonna look up like a list of Maryland city names. The city names. Oh. Here's weird city names. What are the weirdest, funniest towns or places in Maryland? I am not a robot. Accident. Osawaman Bay. I'm bouncing as well. Good night, Russ. All right, let's see. Night, Jimmy. Yeah, it's not a decent list. Oh wait, a few more comments. California is pretty misleading, and La Plata is a fun one. Hollywood, even more so. Crapo. Oh, Tuckahoe. There's a Trap, Maryland. Kick out of driving down 270 and seeing signs for Buckystown and then Barnesville. I've always wondered if anyone else noticed it. Skaggsville, I know where that is. There's a Cuckold Point, Accident, Chevy Chase, Cockeysville, Funkstown, California, Hancock, and Mount Savage, to name a few. I always get weird looks in PA telling people I'm from Savage. Yeah. I've stayed in Funkystown. What? Yeah. I haven't been there in New Zealand. I always see the sign for rum and coke on 50 and think rum and coke. It's just like Roman coke. Um, gets a laugh like a quarter of a mile at a time. Just look just north of the border to Intercourse, PA. Yep. Don't go to Blue Ball. West Friendship. Plumpton. There's Boring. Cockeysville still makes me laugh. Yo, man, every time. And Cockeysville's right near Hunt Valley. Boring is another one. What up, Taj? There's a bar in Trap, PA, and it's called the Trap House. So there's a Trap in Maryland as well, and the Trap in Maryland is on your way to Ocean City, and it was one of those things where I was on my way to Ocean City, and I'm driving past the sign, and it's like, I be using the Trap. I be using the Trap. More comments for weird Maryland cities. There's a town called Boring. That's just as exciting as it sounds. Fruitland, Skaggsville. This person says why, just why. Yes, Intercourse, Pennsylvania, on the way to Sight and Sound. Marlis and Angela log off. It really isn't. There is a time. I'm telling you, the Amish knew what they were doing. They were, yeah. Because of the Skaggs family that lived there way before Hoko became so uppity. Yeah. I know a descendant of the Skaggs. Burnt Store, Ladiesburg, Street, Maryland. I know where Street is. Don't know. That was the name of the town or street, and it wasn't telling me a street name. Who the hell names a town street? There's Poolsville. That's one that's kind of weird. Sunshine, Detour. Oh, I've driven through Sunshine. Ballsack. This is was always a fun one in Cecil County. Never been there. This one, Dick Neck. I just learned that Meriwether, Pennsylvania has ties to Post Cereal. Really? Dude, that's crazy. I mean, it makes sense now that, Meriwether Post Pavilion, like, it's probably Meriwether was the person who, or people who bought that area, or it was like a farm or something, and then Post probably has something else to do with it. Arbutus is weird. I live right near Arbutus. Hagerstown, Point of Rocks, Crab Claw Point, Calvert County, about 10 miles before Route 4 bridge, has a sign that says Sweetwater County Landfill. Yeah. Pomonkey, Stinky Beach, Chevy Chase, Iamsville. Yeah. And I said Iamsville, so it's funny. It's Ijamsville. I do know where Iamsville is. I have a customer that lives up there. What is that? Abide Outdoor Services. What's up, brother? You liking the flavor of that pellet? Yeah, I am. I actually just used it. You'll have to look. I'm covering what I cooked on it. You'll have to check back tomorrow to see what the video I did. Maryland, Meriwether, I married Mr. Post. Whoa. Well, thank you, Angela. That's dope. It's not known as mutual consent. It's called mutual. Mutual and mutual consent. Pigstown. Pigtown makes me chuckle. So Pigtown is a section of the city in Baltimore. Prince Anne and Queen Anne. Eldersburg. That's a good one. Abaya says, I saw them ribs on me. That glare off your head is blinding. I know. There's a bridge called Suicide Bridge in Hurlock, Maryland. Silver Spring, Rockville, Thurmont, Taneytown, Middletown. Yeah. As you cross the Pennsylvania on I-83, there's a town called New Freedom. Every time I drive through, I'm thinking they named their town after a feminine hygiene product. Skaggsville again. Always the Ellicott City sounds like it belongs in a Pokemon game. Yeah. Harvard de Grace. All right, I'm good. I'm reading funny Maryland city names, but yes, there are a lot of. Let's see. Angela said all Maryland counties are named after princesses. Yep. Or their family names or princesses. Oh, for the love of God, I'm not staying anywhere near a po monkey. So, let's see here. All right. So we have a safe space here. We don't talk about politics. All right. So anyway, on that, I think we hit the 2-hour mark, and I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you guys for hanging out on the live stream. Definitely check back tomorrow to see how the video turns out. I got some editing to do tonight. So Suicide Bridge is near Harriet Tubman House. Nice. Actually, I gotta get to Harriet Tubman House. I wanna see it. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get the what do I call it? Pork belly strips in the house. Damn it, the one chance we get my someone and I wasn't paying attention. I took care of it. I was on it. On it. Anyway, dude, my coworker at the range who was using my government name a few weeks ago, he was like, bruh, what the hell? I said, yo, my moderators be on it. He was like, I see. I told him, I said, don't take it personal. I said, they just know I don't go by my government name on the YouTube. And yeah. Yeah, Angela said, I kicked him out so fast. I know. And by the time I caught up, I was like, yo, he's cool. He's cool. I know who he is. Like, don't. He was gone. He was gone. Susie said, bye, everyone. Have a great week. Sending y'all good vibes. Bye, Dash. Yes, indeed. You too. Thank you, Susie. Angela. Grumpus, if you're still here, hopefully you're doing better. We owe him a beer. Yeah. Yeah. He'll be all right. He'll be all right. Yeah, we owe him a beer. We don't have to give him a beer. Like I said, he'll be all right. We don't want everyone to know your name. It's Josh. Yeah, yep. Damn it, man. You got me. Hey, hit that like button on your way out if you haven't already. I greatly appreciate it. Quentin said, night, everyone. Have a good rest of the week, folks. You guys, too. I'll see you guys, and I'm gone. I got editing to do. Dash, don't forget on your video to remind people. I did already, Susie. I did it in the first part of the video to remind folks to come on a live stream. But thank you so very much, Susie. I appreciate you. I almost cut you off. Grumpus says good night, Dash, and everybody. Hey, Grumpus, take great care. Get yourself better. And, film a video every now and again, please. And thank you. Letting us know how you're doing. All right. I'm going for real. Deuces.